Hey guys, welcome to the channel. So I've been investing in the stock market since 2014 when I graduated college. And in that time, I've lost money, I've made money, and I've built up some really important investing strategies that have changed my life. In this video, I'll go over what those habits and strategies are and how they've resulted in my substantial portfolio growth over the last 6 years. So let's get started. Number one is you should have started investing yesterday, aka start investing as early as you can. I'm happy because I got into investing right after graduating college when I opened up my Roth IRA and started playing with individual stocks. However, looking back at it, I still wish I had started earlier. Investing out of college was pretty important for me in seeing the growth that I've had, but you can always invest earlier. Now, research time and time again has shown that when you start investing matters way more than how much you invest. So what that means is the amount of years you spend in the stock market has an exponential effect on your growth and profits. And this is because being in the stock market longer gives you the advantage of compound growth. Let's take a look at this chart showing the effects of investing $200 a month at different ages. So the difference between starting at, let's say, age 25 versus age 45 is just spectacular. The person starting at 25 contributes $96,000 total, but has grown to over $500,000 by retirement. The person that's starting at 45, however, contributes $48,000, but their portfolio is worth only $100,000. So by being in the market for twice as long, person one has 5x their money versus person two has only doubled it. Each year you hold back on investing takes away 1 year of crazy exponential growth 30 or 40 years from now. Sure, that $5,000 that you invest right now might only make you, let's say, $400 in the next year, but in 30 years, it's going to be making you about $4,000 each year. By starting early, I know that the longer I stay in the market, the longer I am invested, the more of an effect it will have. This will lead to hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars of additional growth as I get older. So what I urge you guys to do is, if you haven't yet already, start investing if you have the funds to do so. Prioritize starting early. You don't have to invest a lot per day or month, but the key is just to be in the market for as long as you can. If you don't yet have an investment account, I recommend opening up an account with WeBull. They're currently giving out 3 free stocks when you open up an account and deposit $100 or more. So literally that's instant equity, instant profits. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. Okay, my second really important habit is putting consistent funds into index funds and any extra funds into individual stocks. When I started investing, I realized that I would never know as much about the market as professional traders. There are thousands of nuances that I don't have the capacity to keep track of, and companies are really hard to predict and understand. However, this is one thing that anyone can 100% predict, and that is the fact that the US economy grows in the long term. If you look at the numbers, the average annual returns for the S&P 500 from 1957 through the end of 2018 was about 7.96%. And then if you look at the year-to-year growth, most years is positive growth, but we do see some major corrections along the way. The thing is, we never know when these corrections will take place, but if we just keep investing, it really does not matter. And this is also an important concept because the market as a whole is more predictable than individual companies. Some companies might do extremely well, for example, like Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, but at the same time, many do not do as well. Investing in index funds is like investing in the US economy, which I like to see as a really good company that has guaranteed growth, especially in the long run. And so as a result of this thinking, a big portion of my money goes into index funds like Vanguard's S&P 500 VOO ETF. When you buy shares of ETFs like this, you're investing in 500 or so different companies all at one time. It's a very diversified investment that's spread out over many different companies. I encourage most investors to put a good chunk of money into easy index funds like this. And whatever else you can afford to invest should be seen as playing money. So this is putting money into specific companies that I believe in and think will do well. However, the foundation of your portfolio, once again, for most investors, should likely be index funds. Number 3 on my list is the important concept of taxes. The fact is that most beginner investors, they like to buy, sell very frequently because it's more fun. I get it, I've done that in the past and it is more exciting. But a good mindset shift is, instead instead of thinking that investing has to be super fun and exciting, we should actually think of investing as needing to be boring. This could definitely help out a lot of people that just get really caught up in day trading and trying to, predict the markets rather than just buying index funds and holding for a long time. The problem with buying and selling stocks all the time is that you're hit with a lot of taxes. Whenever you sell a stock for more than you bought it for, you have a capital gain, and this applies for things like real estate, paintings, watches, cars, and of course, stocks. So there are short-term gains and there are also long-term gains. Short-term gains occur when you sell an asset that you have owned for less than 1 year. And long-term gains occur when you sell an asset that you have owned for over 1 year. There's a pretty big tax difference for these two, so let's get into it. When you sell a stock that you've owned for under 1 year, this is taxed as your ordinary income. So depending on how much you make per year, this will be between 10% to 37%. And you may also have to pay state tax on top of that. Now, when you sell a stock that you've owned for over 1 year, the taxes you pay are almost always lower. Take a look at this chart and you can see it depends on your filing status as well as how much profit you're taking. Basically, you'll be paying either 0, 15, or 20%, which is obviously much lower than 10 to 37%. This is why investing long-term is good. You can have less stress and you can also pay fewer taxes on your capital gains. And yeah, that is why I prioritize long-term investing, as I would really prefer not to pay the extra taxes. I think that this is something that most people don't consider with stocks, but it can have a huge impact on your yearly tax bill and investing strategy. So yeah, definitely something to consider. My fourth big habit that I've learned is that timing the market is not good. If you've ever tried to time the market, chances are that it did not work out too well for you. I know for sure it hasn't worked out well for me, because in the past I've tried timing the market and I can say for certain that either I just have really bad luck or I just always time it wrong. This simple lesson is so important as an everyday investor. The fact is that timing the market makes people earn less money on average than if they did not try to time it. The stock market can be quite volatile, and the best 10 days in a decade and the worst 10 days in a decade have a huge impact on portfolio growth. For example, if you had left $10,000 in index funds from the year 2000 to 2014 and you had not touched it, it would have been worth about $22,000. Now, if you had missed the 10 best growth days during that period, you'd only have about $16,000. This means your profit literally would have been cut in half just because you missed those 10 days out of those whole 14 years. So yeah, timing is bad. It's hard because it just causes us to lose out on these winning days. Rather than timing the market, time in the market is much more valuable. And there are hundreds of articles going over this exact phenomenon, and it's a really important one to know when you are investing. I think that through my losses in trying to time the market, this one has really stuck out to me and humbled me. Timing the market is for suckers, and I am living proof of it. All right, number 5 on my list is to do your own research and to understand what you're investing in. If you're going to be investing in individual stocks, which I'm sure almost everyone does, it is so important to not invest blindly. Too often we just get caught in these hype stocks and just buy without doing a single ounce of research into the company. I encourage investors to be their own stock analyst. One fundamental way to do this is to learn about value investing, and I recommend reading a book like The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham. Not all your investing has to be done by prioritizing value investing, but it should certainly be something you consider. You can analyze a stock in a top-down strategy where you start with an industry and then find the best performing companies, or you can do a bottom-up strategy, which is where you take a company and then learn about the outlook of that industry. You can look at annual reports, you can look at analyst articles, balance sheets, valuations, price targets, among many other factors. The bottom line is, don't just trust what other people say and recommend, and simply use what they say or write to kickstart your own research. I have videos where I talk about my top stocks for the month, but once again, I'm just a dude on the internet spewing my own opinions and interpretations. So it's always important to supplement others' opinions with your own, and it's totally okay to disagree with someone. And plus, it's also great for you to grow as an investor when you learn to interpret the numbers on your own. So yeah, those are my top investing habits and strategies that I have implemented in my portfolio. If you're a new investor, I hope that these habits can help you shape your view of investing. These are the habits that I've identified as being helpful for my own investing journey, and I hope that they're helpful for you as well. Of course, feel free to do things differently, but I just wanted to share what works for me. And once again, if you guys want to get some free stocks, make sure to sign up for WeBull using my link below, and you'll get 3 free stocks when you deposit $100 or more into your account. I use WeBull for my own investing, and they are definitely one of the most powerful as well as most easy to use brokerages that's available out there. So you might as well sign up and get those free stocks. And also be sure to check out my other stock videos that I have on my channel. If you like the video, make sure to hit that like button and also subscribe to my channel to see more videos just like this. I post a ton of content about investing, personal finance, and entrepreneurship. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.